I think that for 7 albums in like a very good collection of work already, I'm hoping that the world catches on and everybody can sing the praises of this fantastic band.
Nice.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
I didn't listen to it. Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast.
Ooh.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And how's it going? Good to see you guys again. Thanks for tuning in once again. We would love if you subscribe to us, hit subscribe button. If you like the video, leave a comment.
Be nice.
All of that stuff is very helpful. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. We post a lot of fun clips on there.
It's true. You can see the visuals, and I think that that's the thing, right? Like with our audio listeners, you get the joy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of hearing the sultry sounds that are coming from our voices. But on a video format, you can actually watch me get fatter week by week.
Yeah.
I was going to wear a Refuse t-shirt that I like very much for this episode, and I can't do that. So now I'm in a Duffins Donuts shirt. Shout out to Duffins.
Okay.
But I'm realizing that I can almost no longer wear this shirt either. It's getting out of hand. Moving on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can get into it.
No, we don't really have to. I mean, I said I was going to make a lot of changes, and I didn't make a lot of changes, basically. That's just the story of everybody's life, you know what I mean? It's
not too late.
It's never too late, right? But I mean, I'm still in the that vacation period, right? I've been working constantly since I've been 14 years old, and now I'm just like, oh, this is nice. I'm on vacation. It just gets nicer and nicer.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
You can still be on vacation.
These things don't last forever. No, yeah, and I could move around a little bit. There's a few things that I could do, but we're not here to talk about calisthenics. We're here to talk about you.
Right. And we thanks for tuning in. Share us on your stories. Give us a tag. Share us word of mouth. You know,
nice,
passing people on the street. Let them know. Show me yours.
Show me yours. Show me yours.
Yeah.
You could do that. Get to an orgy, and then when somebody's like, "Excuse me, what'd you say?" and then like they thought that you were going to say something a little bit more sexually explicit, but you were like, "No, show me yours. It's a podcast." But also, let me see that junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have, as always, a good album to recommend, let's say, at the end of the podcast.
Yes. I would say, if you want to hear about the Brokedowns, skip to 45 minutes, but don't do that because we got a whole lot more cool stuff before we talk about a great underrated band, I would say.
Yes. As per usual, we have some fun stories to get into.
We do.
Pertinent discussion. Quick, before we do that, it's snowing outside.
It is snowing outside. It is snowing outside. I'm now Jon Snow. It is cool because I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I'm going to make a lot of bad references to a show that I've never seen and stuff, but like I will, continue to stay positive in the midst of a global cataclysm or what could potentially be the end of the world.
I think this is very exciting.
Yeah,
because,
you bought a little Christmas tree today. You're stoked.
Yeah, because as you guys know, we recently moved to Montreal, and we knew, winter was coming.
Yeah, picked a great time of year to move.
But we actually did, because we moved during a lovely time of year. That was a couple months ago now.
That was actually nice. Yeah, so we drove across this great country in the fall, and I recommend that.
But yeah, we've been expecting winter for some time now, and it's finally come, and I think it's exciting.
It's been good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think for December, 2nd or 3rd or whatever it is, for the 3rd of December, for us to get snow in a city that is famously covered in it by now, I'm feeling very fortunate. But yes, it's going to be fun. I think I'm going to buy a bottle of whiskey after this podcast.
Okay.
And because I have to walk to a show tonight. You are at a different venue, but you're going to take the car. So I can actually do one show and then walk down the street and then maybe work on some new material, a little mic down the road as well. And I think having a little bit of whiskey in the pocket out in the cold out here might be like a really good way to do it. I'm going to put on old records that I used to listen to.
Right.
Do you find that music is seasonal?
Of course. Yeah, I think, and I feel like we've had this discussion before on the podcast, but it is pertinent to the seasonal shift we are experiencing.
What is like
at
a
the
winter
moment?
jam for you? Because like, I mean, I walked out of the shower today and I was listening to the Brokedowns, getting prepared for this podcast, going to talk about a band that I don't think people talk about enough. And then when I got out of the shower, you were listening to music, Christmas music from, I believe, the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh yeah, Green Christmas. That's an absolute classic. But yeah, I was jamming my Christmas playlist as we were getting our first major snowfall of the year. So it seemed appropriate.
Yeah, no shade. It was just it was alarming when I heard the Bare Naked Ladies in my home.
Have you never heard that song before?
Never. No.
Oh, that's a classic. Comment if you know the song that I'm talking. Streets are filled with Christmas cheer.
Oh yeah, it was very
At
Bare
least
Naked.
it's only once a year. It's a great song.
At least it's only once a year.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of winter, I don't know, like kind of I don't know, maybe like more like we've talked about how like East Coast hip hop versus West Coast is kind of almost like winter versus summer jams.
We have talked about this because that's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah, and so I definitely that. I have brought on my Sad Girl Mac Miller album, Swimming, which is a great winter album, I think. Yeah, things like that are kind of moodier, I guess, aren't
somber
not so
tones.
much. But they don't even necessarily have to be like somber in tone or in lyrics, but just like I guess like grungier, less kind of like poppy beats or like funky beats or whatever. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. I absolutely agree. Which means that again and again, solidifying the fact that I picked a fantastic album for today. Pat on the back to the kid.
Yeah.
So I do think that with the snowfall, I'm gonna go and dig back into a lot of stuff that like I think I've been like this the punk rock kick or whatever. Once you move to Vancouver and it doesn't really snow, like you're kind of like for me anyway, like I'm always kind of in the mood for something. If there's like I don't really skate as much anymore, but if I could, I'm like, oh, the weather's fine enough that like I could get my fat ass out there and skate. Then I'm listening to something with some drums and guitars and stuff. Now that there's snow here, I'm very excited to go back to like, you know, late 80s or early 90s, you know, everything from Rock Hymn to Wu-Tang, anything in that period.
That's what I kind of appreciate about living like further east in the country, is that you experience like every season is pretty well defined.
Sure.
In that, like, and not that we don't get seasons in Vancouver, because you definitely do on the West Coast, and especially more so the last few years, the seasons are becoming more extreme. But I mean, like in the eastern part of the country, obviously winters are really brutal. But summers are also really fucking hot. And then you do get like a lovely little fall time. It's short, but it's nice little, you know, leaves change
those
color.
Little pockets, I think.
And
of
then
like
and then the spring is just like gross and everything's melting. But they are all like distinct from each other, you know? Whereas like on the West Coast of the country, you get different seasons for sure. But the rain is also constant throughout every season. You know, you can get those like gray, like wet days no matter what time of year it is.
Yeah. I think with Vancouver you get like an 80-day stretch of rain. I think we had one year, which is definitely awful. But out here I do think that it is nice, and shout out to like the time zone being different, because I left a show the other day and I went to a bar after, got bounced on. Oh, that sucks. You know what I mean? Just trying to make a homie out here. Stick around for the drink. If you order a drink, stick around until the drink's over. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying my beverage, and there was a basketball game on that had just started at like 10:30. You know what I mean? Which was like very cool. Yeah. So I think like it just bodes being out later, and as a night owl myself, it is. I like that kind of. I like that kind of hour, but we don't need to talk about the weather. We didn't come to talk about time zones.
No, we have come to deliver the news to you.
That was what we're here to do.
So, a police officer is sentenced for pointing a gun towards a colleague over Top Gun Maverick spoilers.
If there's ever been a reason. If there's ever been a reason to threaten a man's life.
So this is coming out of Australia, which is actually a little shocking. This has the states written all over it to me.
Yes, definitely, but you can never
you can't count out Australia when it comes to crime.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
and just for I believe this is bogan shit they call it, right? Like you got to be a wild, like a sick cunt. This is a sick cunt would do this, right? You know what I mean, right?
Well, okay. Okay. A Sydney police officer.
Oh, you don't have to do it. Please don't do it.
Pointed his gun towards a colleague after warning him not to reveal spoilers about the movie Top Gun Maverick. Has been handed a 2-year good behavior ban and a conviction. That was pretty good. Hey.
It wasn't bad, but it started off like you were almost in a war zone. Like if you were so scared and there were like gunfire, being exchanged across, you're stuck in the middle, you're pinned down, as they would say in a war zone, and you're trying to recount. You know what I mean? What you're seeing for the home audience, I think, and then you just went to Australian for some reason. I would assume that's out of fear.
Okay, sure. Constable Dominic Francis Gaynor was working behind the counter at Day Street Police Station in May. According to court documents, the complainant, a 26-year-old probationary constable, Morgan Royston, saw the Tom Cruise blockbuster the previous night and told Gaynor, "I'll spoil it for you."
Which is kind of a shitty thing to do, especially if know like the homie is just like into. I wonder if he's.
But you're ribbing around, like you're joshing.
Oh, I've joshed. I've done this. I have as soon as somebody has said, especially if this is coming out like the week of, and a guy really wants to see it, then don't give them that kind of shit. But say something's been in the theaters and it's like, in a Top Gun situation,
right.
A blockbuster would stay there for maybe 3 weeks or like a month or something like that in the theater, then go fuck yourself, right? If you didn't see it opening week.
Sure, but it's still like a dick move to like purposely spoil
It's
something
extremely.
But I feel like in this context, they were just joking around. Like they weren't actually going to spoil the film.
Oh, no. Oh.
That's the vibe that I'm getting. Because who just says, I'm going to spoil it for you? Like, if your intention is to spoil a movie, you just spoil the movie. You don't say, I'm going to spoil it for you.
Well, no, because
you don't lead up to it. You just fucking do it.
No, that's not true at all. Because in a game of psychological warfare, or like when you're trying to fuck with somebody, the idea is like, let's say.
But that's psychological warfare. That's not spoiling a movie. If you're engaging in psychological warfare, you're going to keep making him think you're going to spoil the movie, you're going to keep almost, like an edging, if you will.
For sure, exactly.
But like you're not, but that's the game. That's a will she, won't she kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. I think we're saying the same thing, just in different, we're just not going to give it to each other. So.
Okay. The agreed facts state that Gaynor 30 then laughed as a different colleague left the room and said, "Don't spoil the movie, cunt." Gaynor is also quoted as saying, "I'll shoot you." That's damning evidence.
I mean, yes, but he also did this in the middle of a police department, which I'm assuming is on, there's cameras on him. Sure. I want to see the footage.
Yeah, the agreed facts say Gaynor then took his Glock out of its holster. He pointed his firearm at the vicinity of the complainant and held it stationary for 5 seconds, the documents say. The offender's finger was on the receiver, not the trigger. The offender was laughing throughout this incident. This man is psychotic.
No, because, so this is where I feel like this is just joking. Like he's like, "Oh, I'll spoil it for you," and he's like, "You better fucking not." "Oh, I'll spoil it for you," and then he pulls his gun and points at him, which is like kind of fucked up. But I've threatened, I've had wrenches thrown at me. I've threatened to throw wrenches at people and stuff like that. That's just like.
Yeah, but you're not
this is guys doing guys shit.
Yeah, you're not a man of the law,
who
has undergone rigor. I mean, I don't know what their vetting process is in Australia, but to be trusted with a firearm, presumably there's some sort of, background check. There's some rigorous, vetting that they do for police officers.
Yeah,
right?
There's the police academy movies.
In order to kind of sift out these people that will jokingly point their Glock at a colleague.
Oh, the police are good at sifting out the bad apples. Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that
the police have been historically good at finding the bad ones.
I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying is that this is a failure of the system.
Yeah, definitely. We got one that slipped through the cracks here.
Gaynor pleaded guilty to carrying a firearm with disregard for the complainant's safety. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to plead guilty to. And you
gotta be like, you never know though, right? Because like Top Gun is in itself a masterpiece.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to get into. This is what is really comical to me about this incident is that a gun was pulled over the possibility of having spoiled for you the end of a film, which is one of the most textbook formulaic series in blockbuster history.
The good guy's going to win and get the girl.
Yeah,
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you want to know in which fashion do you see Jennifer Connelly's tits? This is new age. This isn't Kelly McGillis. Kelly McGillis isn't showing bush, isn't showing tit in 19 whatever, like the original Top Gun. This is my mom's favorite movie, VHS. Yep. I've seen this movie front to back probably 100 times, volleyball scene upwards to 3.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you never see volleyball depicted in such an accurate way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's really something. Yeah.
Give me all Levi's, right? If I show up, don't give me those little shorts to make my butt look good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And probably could aid, lateral movement and quickness on a volleyball. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay? I want Levi's.
Of course.
Every time. You know what I mean? And you're going to see probably my gut hanging over a little bit now. Back in my day, I was beach volleyball guy.
You were Johnny Beach Volleyball?
Johnny Beach Volleyball, Val Kilmer, get the fuck out of here, okay?
Oh, those are fighting words.
Yeah, but I would say something, Val. I didn't feel
that's
good
a little,
I didn't feel good about that. But, you know what I mean? I think that when a movie of this caliber is going to be remade, historically speaking, you're always, when you go back to the well, it seems watered down, right? But in this situation, Tom Cruise is actually learning how to fly these jets himself. This guy is stoked.
But my argument is the joy of this movie is not finding out how it ends. It's revisiting this this movie that in a lot of ways kind of it was part of a time that redefined the blockbuster, right? 80s films. That was all huge blockbuster hits.
Sure.
Top Gun, fucking E.T., like all these major hits.
Absolutely.
And the movies were designed in a certain way. And so, in my point of view, Top Gun Maverick, the joy of that film, the reason why it was so successful is that these people wanted to go back to a simpler time, wanted to go back when they know certain plot elements are going to happen that at the end of the movie makes them feel satisfied. Yeah. So, in my point of view, the joy of that movie, the anticipation of that movie isn't so much finding out how it ends, but it's just the experience, of being able to go and sit in a movie theater and feel like, you're in this time again.
This movie is funded by the American military. You know what I mean? Like, they do this. This is a hoorah movie. This is made like not only to for like a feel good movie, but also like a fuck our enemies kind of thing. You ever walk out of the theater after, like, I went to see 300 on like a matinee on a Sunday in the middle of the day, and I walked out of there and there was just a bunch of dudes that were ready to start some shit. Like, it was incredibly, like, you could have like cut the tension. If there was a Persian guy in that parking lot, then God helping, you know what I mean, get him out of there.
Right.
Because these boys were ready to throw down.
Right.
I even said that outside the thing, and everybody kind of laughed, and like, I mean, it got a huge pop, but like, I mean, I could see in some of these boys' eyes is, they were looking for Ravi Khanna, but they weren't going to find him in this light. You know what I mean? Basically, of course you're gonna, like, exactly what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Especially with Tom Cruise, right? Mission Impossible. The guy doesn't miss. You know what I mean? In a situation like this, right? He's gonna. Is he a great actor? No. Right? Is he a good person? Absolutely not. But is he gonna hang off the side of a fucking plane?
Well, he's gonna deliver what you want. Exactly. He is the king of, again, like, these formulaic movies that every time you kind of know what you're gonna get, and he's gonna give it to you.
You bet. What he's got to get it, put it in you. You know what I mean? So in this situation, Kelly McGillis, unfortunately, smoke show in her time, aged out of the female role here. Also a part that, you know what I mean, doesn't make Hollywood look good, but they go to a younger Jennifer Connelly. Now, Jennifer Connelly,
which is kind of insane. It's not
she's not like a young bombshell by any means. So what would they be going for? In my head, because we've already seen Jennifer Connelly's tits.
Yes.
We know. Babe, can we talk about another woman's breasts right now?
Go for it.
Okay, so Jennifer Connelly is not what we're like. Okay, so we don't need to necessarily talk about the breasts, because if in a perfect world, you go dark, right? You go dark with Top Gun Maverick, right? So with Kelly McGillis out, Jennifer Connelly in Requiem for a Top Gun. Stay with me here. Tom Cruise gets abducted by whatever enemy we're fighting. I'm assuming Russians or Asians or Arabs here. Well, no, they have like stealth fighter capability. I'm assuming Russians.
I would say probably Russians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this situation, Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, are in a POW camp, and then they have to go ass to ass as they do Requiem style, but it's in a much lighter, which I guess wouldn't be happening in a POW camp. You'd wish it was more of like an Eyes Wide Shut situation where they were both kind of like, into it.
Right.
Yeah, maybe not. Damn.
Sure.
Requiem for a Top Gun.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, ass to ass.
So
Would you watch it?
So my question was what movie or like series or TV show or whatever would you be willing to pull a gun on someone if they threaten to spoil for you? Because I have a few.
Right now, at the time when I was like enthralled with them.
No, I mean like now. Like if you were to have this altercation with someone and assume you had a gun on you, what movie or TV series would make you pull that Glock? Would make me pull the strap on him?
Yeah. Would I pull the strap out and dump? I gotta be honest with you. Probably like what we do in the shadows, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. Like if somebody had some like information on Guillermo that like I was not privy to. Okay. You know what I mean? I might pull out that thing and let it sing. I might I'd probably go to the trunk and and pop that trunk and get the old shoddy out if somebody was to spoil the Lord of the Rings.
The series?
Yeah. The what do you call it? I don't even know the fucking name of it. It's just on Amazon. It says continue watching.
Yeah.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
Yeah. I would probably I wouldn't. This is all a lie. This is all for comedic effect, but I don't even feel it. There's nothing that's out right now that I would give half a shit about to threaten somebody's life with.
Survivor, definitely 100%.
Well, yeah.
That would be. I mean, like I am a peaceful person. But if there is a situation where I was not caught up on Survivor, and someone intentionally spoiled that for me, shit would go down. Also, any reality show that I am not caught up on.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I get genuinely upset when those are spoiled for me. Yeah.
So
I think Survivor.
Now I can buy a firearm. Sure. Now I have a reason to. I want to see the movie where Jeff Probst gets assassinated, and then it just turns into like an old school, like a Japanese revenge flick, like where the whole thing is you're just trying to avenge the death of Jeff Probst.
Oh, yeah.
That's passion.
Yeah.
Based on a true story, God willing. That. You know what I mean? It could be based on a true story.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that like nothing is out of reach as far as this is concerned, but I'm just saying that like
my argument is that like mine is justified because this is a real life. These are real people fighting for real $1 million.
Sure.
Literally anything could happen on Survivor.
100%.
Whereas like if it's a plot to a movie, you can more or less guess what's going to happen.
That's why I feel like Homeboy was just fucking around here. You know what I mean, right? I don't believe in my heart of hearts that he pulled the gun out and if he's smiling while he's doing it, then he's like, oh, I'll just, I'll get you. I feel like this is like a classic example of when somebody overhears the joke.
Or he bombed is what happened. It's going to cost him dearly. I believe it's cost him his job. He's been charged, so he can no longer be a police officer anymore.
I just think the guy rules.
But yeah, shout out to former Constable Gaynor. Okay. This next story is fun. Grubhub driver claims delivering cup of urine instead of milkshake was an accident.
We've all been there.
The customer noticed the mistake after taking a sip. That is most unfortunate. A Utah man has been left rightfully scarred after he received and sipped from a warm cup of urine that a Grubhub driver delivered in place of a Chick-fil-A milkshake.
Chick-fil-A
milkshake. Caleb Woods told a local news outlet that he ordered fries and a shake from the fast food joint via Grubhub. When I started eating my meal upon delivery, I saw a straw in my cup that was delivered and took a sip, Woods said. I soon discovered that the cup delivered to me from the Grubhub driver was a warm cup of urine.
You hate to see it.
He confronted the delivery driver, who had not left yet, suspicious. The entire conversation was captured on Woods' home security system. Did you confuse the cups? Because, dude, it's half full of pee, Woods told the driver while holding the styrofoam cup in question. Do you realize this is pee? The Grubhub worker admitted to accidentally switching the cups. He said that he believes he relieves himself into a cup in the car because of the long hours he works. Woods said that some of his money was refunded, but he wasn't compensated in full despite the disturbing experience.
Pissing into a cup when you're sitting down as opposed to just getting out of the car and pissing, like pulling into an alley and getting it done is insane.
Yeah, and then so the fact that he had two, presumably this was a recent piss because the cup was another Chick-fil-A cup. And so it's for a cup from the same institution that he was delivering food from. So this happened
and then he
between
waited
picking
for the guy
cup
to
up.
take the sip. When is the Grubhub
Why was
driver...
he still hanging around?
Yeah,
It's like this seems like he wanted this. Like he wanted this interaction. Like this is seems like a kink that's gone out of control now. Like this is what he needs to get off.
If I've seen it once, I've seen it 100 times. And I think that I'm a piss jug guy. I live in a world of piss jugs, right? Piss jugs surrounded, animals. I know from just friends that are disgusting pieces of shit that just have them in their fucking bedrooms because they game and whatever, all the way to job site construction work. There's so many people storing piss. And we need to talk about it because it's fucking crazy. I've never been a man to keep a piss jug. Have I ever pissed in a jug? You bet your sweet ass I have.
Right.
Have I ever pissed in a Chick-fil-A cup? Not a lot of Chick-fil-A's in Canada, or none. But like a McDonald's cup, something like that, sure I am. Sure I have. Do you keep it around? Do you serve it to somebody else?
I mean, that's insane. If you're doing that on the job, that you go above and beyond to make sure that cup does not enter anyone else's life. You triple check before delivering. And also, so the difference between holding a half-filled warm cup of recent urine versus holding a cup of a milkshake is quite different. You would think that when he lifted it, assuming both were in the cup holders, he lifted one to bring, you'd think he would have been like, this doesn't feel like a fucking milkshake.
I'm not a hot beverage guy, but I've held a cup of piss and I know what that feels like. And I mean, I've held a couple milkshakes in my day too. Look at the belly. See belly, exhibit butt cheeks. This is this is an act of war. There's no other way.
There's no way there's no situation where this is not intentional.
Yeah, I don't think for a second that this guy wasn't hard as fuck when he was being reprimanded by the customer to be like, do you not see this as piss? And for him just to play it cool and be like, oh, I love,
shit, dude.
I love the idea that if he say he's in a neighborhood where there's a Chick-fil-A and it's busy at that time, so he maybe is doing 3-4 cycles to the Chick-fil-A, within an hour of his shift. Okay, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. Okay. And he maybe got Chick-fil-A himself, and then he had a cup full of piss. In what world do you you have the 4-drink holder? Right, from a Chick-fil-A order. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, fantastic. Now I can stop holding my cup of piss. And he just puts it in that thing for a second and delivers all 4 drinks at once.
Right.
There's no way that spins this that just like doesn't make you.
Okay, what if this was intentional, but not it's not for the reason that he wants someone to drink his piss. He just thought, oh man, I could really use a milkshake right now. I'm going to pull a classic switcheroo, and this guy might not even notice.
I mean, like, if I'm ever looking to do a switcheroo, you try to at least go for something where the temperature of the cup isn't going to be a dead giveaway, especially like we were just talking about piss to milkshake. You're going to have a difficult time. Cup of snow, now that it's snowing out here in Montreal. You know what I mean? There's other ways you could go about it. Problem with that, you might have to pack it a little bit there. Milkshake can be pretty dense. Snow can be pretty light depending on the consistency, time of year, and when it fell. I mean, there's a lot of ways, that you could try to get around this. End of the day, just be a hero.
Right.
And and just try to hold a straight face when this is there, because I've fucked up on so many jobs. Never in a situation like this. Like, this is pretty gnarly. But,
this is a pretty big fuck up.
But like, I've fucked up like so embarrassingly when your boss is coming to you and it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, they want to hear it from your mouth because they don't believe that you could have done something so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And there's a million different examples of this from many different professions and shit. Like, I know what it's like to get caught in a spot where you can't even believe what you've done is so stupid.
Yeah, you have no explanation for yourself.
Add your personal brevity to it, right? Nobody.
It's
you can't be pissing.
Yeah, he was caught with his pants down, quite literally.
Big time. And a jug of piss.
Yeah.
Shout out to every piss jugger out there, but, it's this is a bad look.
Yeah. So I think the order cost like $25. They refunded $18, the actual cost of the food. They didn't refund the delivery fee or the tip that I gave. So this guy still got paid.
You got tipped.
It was just Chick-fil-A. Just had to give their money back.
I love that. Chick-fil-A's like, nah, bro, hey, man, you got $7 worth of piss there. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, well, no, Chick-fil-A didn't get any money from this. He got refunded the cost of the food. He still had to pay the delivery fee and the tip. So the driver still got paid.
I never thought we'd be in a situation on this show where we were like, man, Chick-fil-A really got
a shit deal on this one.
Oh my god.
Grubhub has since commented on the incident. We took immediate action with the driver and ended his contract with us, the company said in a statement. We're following up with the customer to apologize and are coaching the representative who was previously in touch with the customer. So you're following up with him to apologize? How long does that take to do? I'm so confused.
Yeah, you
earlier. So we're working on it, okay? Or we're gonna talk to delish.com and give our quotes first, and then we'll follow up with him.
Hey, you know what I mean? When the streets is talking, you got to get in there first.
Yeah. What a hilarious website for this story to be on.
Honestly, like, they probably did the right thing. Like, you want to go and get out ahead of this before that? Like, fuck your apology, dude. Like,
get on the phone with Delish.
Exactly. There's a public that they need to square this away with before they even give a shit about talking to this guy, and that's the problem with business.
Yeah. Earlier this year, DoorDash suffered similar criticism when a driver spit on a 13-year-old boy's food after not receiving a sufficient tip. The food delivery company similarly apologized in a statement, claiming that while they empathized with the frustration of not receiving a tip, the behavior was unacceptable and falls far below the high quality experience they aim to provide. So, I mean, like, it is like a new age phenomenon where, like, when you order out and you're getting a delivery through these like delivery apps, you're adding yet another middleman, between you and the food. And these drivers really could be anyone. I mean, all they need is like a license and like a functional vehicle.
I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so like, you're opening yourself up to a whole range of possible experiences, when biscuits, So, I mean, hopefully you're not getting a cup full of piss. In this situation, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine not noticing that a cup, that I ordered for a milkshake is actually half filled with urine. I can't imagine not noticing that until I take a sip.
Interesting.
Like, presumably he was holding the cup.
Depends on whose piss, really. I mean, if you're like, pretty healthy, I think. Like, but like my piss, like, it's my piss. You know what I mean? You know it's piss at least.
I feel like I would notice. I feel like I would notice something is up before fucking taking a sip.
You'd hope so. You'd really hope so. But then again, like so he dumped out half the milkshake and filled the rest up with piss?
No.
Oh.
He had an empty, like, that was his piss cup, right? So he was delivering. Yeah. So he had a Chick-fil-A order, which included a milkshake. But then he had a separate piss cup that was also from Chick-fil-A. But he accidentally delivered the piss cup instead of the milkshake.
Hold on a second here. In his middle compartment, he grabs the bag and then grabs the cup.
Exactly.
Just by the lid.
Yeah.
This is how it happens.
That's what I've been saying.
Oh, fuck. So he's holding from the top and the lid, and then when you hand it to the person, then he grabs it by the cup. That should be your first time.
That's when it's warm. This is fresh piss.
Unless the guy was holding it, the delivery guy was holding it by the cup, hands it to the dude, and then he takes it by the lid and just goes right for the straw.
So it sounds like it said in the article that straw was already in. So hopefully,
which is a problem.
Which is a huge problem. Yeah, but I would hope that a delivery driver would be holding a cup by the cup and not by the lid. You know?
I think this is just like, you know what I mean, like, I hope it's the grossest, most honest mistake ever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have friends that are dumb. Yeah. I have a friend of mine that I was working with in Kelowna, and he was late like an hour to work one day because he had a bong in his car. Right. And so he would like stop at a red light and he would just like roast the bong. Yeah. And one morning when he did that, he just looked over like as he's exhaling this massive cloud of bong rip, there's a cop just like staring at him like, could you?
Yeah, that's crazy. And to do it at a red light is insane.
Yeah, so when he got pulled over, the cop was doing the exact same thing to him. Like, you can't believe how dumb this person is.
Yeah, right? Like I wasn't even looking to pull you
exactly.
over.
So like, so I get it, and I've been at a bar with those guys like after shift, being like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" And it's just like, man, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. It just like went down like that. I think some people are just so stupid. Yeah. I hope this is just the most lovable, just slowest son of a bitch in the crew, and not a complete psychopath. But that's just me trying to be an optimist in the world that we live in.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? If on the other hand, this man is just, you know, if he just goes to sign up for a job with Uber Eats tomorrow and somebody else in town.
Well, that's the thing, is that he's going to be, and that it is kind of sad that he was let go, because if you're working for an app like Grubhub or Uber Eats or DoorDash, then you're hurting for money, right? Of
course, yeah. You could probably get away with like 1 or 2 piss orders.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Like you said, he got let. So I think Grubhub is just in the States.
It's the first offense. I think we let him slide.
But like you said, then he can just sign up for DoorDash, Uber Eats. I think they have Postmates in the States. Sure. Like there's any number of these that he can sign up for. So moral of the story is check your drinks before you take a sip. If it's coming from a delivery app, you know, it might not be on purpose, but mistakes happen, and you don't want a mouthful of a stranger's fresh urine.
Yeah, I mean, unless you do, but you probably don't. You know what I mean?
That's probably not what you're ordering Uber Eats for.
You ask for it. You say, thirsty, daddy thirsty, and then you do it like that. If you're into just drinking surprise piss, then we never would have heard about this story. They would have fell in love. You know what I mean? And they kept it out of the news.
Yeah, exactly. This wouldn't be a problem at all.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But so, clearly, it's an issue for someone.
Just be careful
but
out there.
But he still got the best part about the story for me is that the driver still got paid and he still got his tip.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's a beautiful thing about it too. Is that like it's harder to just researching the idea of time theft is just fascinating to me, because like it's the most ironic thing ever, because just we live in a society where, like, you know what I mean, with just like your time is you're forced to give up your time, you know what I mean, in order to live. So anybody that like smokes cigarettes or, you know, kind of slacks off at work or whatever, they have this like term for it now as time theft. And I was looking into it, is that it's so hard for like companies to, you know, to prove or prosecute you for this or whatever, so that you basically will always be paid out and fired. Right? Because I thought that I'd like gave up crime You know what I mean? Years ago when I was a kid.
I think that's kind of bullshit because people have been thieving time since like the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing you can do if you're working like a 9 to 5 or any sort of position where you're being paid by the hour, you're working 8 hours a day. That's like the one thing you can do to break up the day, you know? Like if you're gonna you know, like that's like when I go
on a crime spree like a heist every day.
When I was like working in the production office, I was fucking 12-hour days. So I was drinking a lot of coffee at that time because I took a lot of walks to the kitchen to refill my coffee cup.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, no one can actually fucking just sit at a desk or do whatever job they're doing and focus for 8 hours straight or more.
Yeah.
Like
I would argue and just sit in it.
I would argue
30-minute fake dump, like just say it's a fake dump.
I would
FD,
argue
30-minute fake 30 FD.
I would argue that you need time thievery in order to effectively do your job.
Boost morale.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, we have one more fun story.
What do we got?
Okay. Somerset man banned from wearing gimp suit and writhing on ground.
I'm into that. What do you mean banned?
So it means exactly that. It means banned. A man has been banned for 5 years from wearing a mask and dressing in an all-black suit in public at night and crawling, wriggling, or writhing on the ground after police linked him to 25 incidents committed by the so-called Somerset Gimp.
Wait, hold on. So he gets in a gimp suit and he writhes around on the ground, and they just tell him that you can't do that for 5 years?
He's banned specifically from doing that. So
that is imagine flashers. Like if you're out there just showing your junk and it's like, hey, you can't do that for 5 more years. Then you can test the waters again in 5 years. Well, what's
funny is that like he's linked to 25 incidents, but I guess these incidents is just he's not like coming into contact with anyone. He's just doing this. He's just kind of freaking people out.
He's an outdoor.
And they're like, so you can't do that for 5 years, but like you're not really. They're not
Holy
banning
shit.
him from.
Babe, this leads into the album. The first track on this album is The One True Freak. We have found the one true freak.
But this also suggests if he's banned from doing this for 5 years because he was caught doing it 25 times, that means that everyone else in the world is presumably free to do this for 24 or less times before you yourself are banned.
They've set the precedent, right? As soon as you set that precedent, then everybody else can go up to it, and then and you can argue in a court of law based on, the state versus Gimp.
Yeah,
we can all cite this case now.
Yeah,
and then you can at least get up to 24 incidents
of
gimping out. You know what I mean? You can gimp at least 24 times in this town before they really seek action.
Yeah.
And I love the 5-year ban.
Yeah.
That is the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my entire life, to ban somebody for 5 years.
5 years, pretty low,
from
honestly,
doing a
all
sexual
things considered. So Joshua Hunt, 32 years old. So this is a young man.
Do you think these proclivities are going to go away in 5 years? If anything, you're going to make him stronger.
It's going to be building. It's going to be building. He's going to need to get it out of his system after this.
He's going to come back like Bane. Hello, Batman, in his gimp suit.
So he's Joshua Hunt, 32, has been given a sexual risk order after police argued there was sexual motivation to the incidents. I mean, that's not a hard argument.
No.
To me.
No, that checks out.
A district judge imposed the order after a hearing at Bristol Magistrates Court a week after Hunt, who insists he is not the Gimp, was convicted of 2 offenses under the Public Order Act of intentionally causing harassment, alarm, or distress. Lawrence Wilcock, representing Avon and Somerset Police, told Friday's hearing that Hunt has been linked to 25 incidents. Peter Richardson, defending, said Hunt had taken a pragmatic and practical approach to the application. We are not contesting the application, but that is not the same as agreeing with everything that is set out, he said. The sexual risk order was imposed for 5 years and also means Hunt is on the sex offender register for the same period. That's a big blow.
Yeah, I love that he's trying to proclaim his innocence. You know what I mean?
Among the restrictions, Hunt, a gardener from North Somerset.
What if this guy's not the Gimp?
Well, I mean, okay, let's get into the restrictions because these are pretty funny. So this is specifically what he's banned from. 1, wearing any type of mask or face covering, including improvised mask or face coverings that cover all or part of the face in any public place, including while in a vehicle in a public place, unless officially required for medical purposes or by law.
Oh, okay.
So no masks.
All right.
No masks, no covering the face.
I was loving if they didn't put that last clause in there. It's just like at the height of COVID. He's like, I'm legally not allowed.
2, being in possession of any type of mask or face covering, including improvised masks or face coverings that cover all or part of the face in a public place, including while in a vehicle in a public place between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless officially required for medical purposes or by law. So we have a time period in which these acts were occurring. Presumably between 9 and 6, between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. were his gimping hours.
That's when you gimp. I mean, if he was a daytimer, that's kind of
that's when you gimp out for sure.
Imagine if you're just
you
walking
can't do
through
it
the park and you see a gimp
at like fucking 7:30 p.m.
Frolicking?
It's still
no, gimps don't frolic.
Gimps
writhe.
You got to do it under the cover of darkness.
100%.
So he can't even have one like on like in his hand. He can't even be holding a mask. He cannot be in possession of a mask. Okay. 3, wearing or being in possession of black all-in-one garments.
You can't have a onesie?
You can't. Oh, man. But they're in now, too. A combination or any combination of full-length black-colored top and black-colored bottom clothing, which has the appearance of an all-in-one garment in a public place, including in a vehicle in a public place between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m.
So
he can't be decked out in all black. Because he can't. It's not even like.
Can't do it at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, he can't.
Or sorry, at 8. Yeah, he can't.
Yeah, so 8 p.m. he can walk around in his onesie, but as soon as that
got to protest in the daytime.
9, it's a bit of a Cinderella story, if you will. As soon as the clock strikes 9, then all of a sudden.
Get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it also says, so it says full length, so no all in one, so no onesies, but it says anything that has the appearance of that. So presumably like
you can't buy a 2-piece and then just like front like he's like it is.
Or like tuck the shirt in or whatever. He can't go decked out in all black. He's banned from wearing all black. And then finally, 4, he's banned from crawling, wriggling, or writhing on the ground in a public place while wearing a full body covering, clothing that appears like a full body covering, and or mask / full face covering.
So he can get out there, do that, crawl and wiggle.
So he could presumably be naked. Writhing on the ground. He's like, hey, I'm not in my full body covering right now.
There's for
sure. And so that one, so crawling, wriggling, or writhing, no times of the day.
Yeah.
Wearing any mask or face covering, no times of the day. Being in a possession of a mask is just from 9 to 6, and being decked out in a chic full black just from 9 to 6. So there is some wiggle room here. It's between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. He can walk around carrying a mask and gimped out head to toe, carrying a mask, as long as he's not wriggling on the ground and as long as the mask is not on his face and he's not doing anything wrong. He could even wriggle not on the ground.
That's
he
true.
Could just walk around like fucking.
He has to protest this in every way that he can. Unless he's being a menace to society, right? Like, that's another thing, too, is, if you're gimping out there, a gimp by essence is a submissive creature, kind of being told what to do, so this might be
definitely adding
humiliation. There might be, like, a master or a dom behind this that's now got his gimp into actual legal trouble.
Yeah, but maybe that's
crazy.
all part of it. Maybe this was part of the kink, and maybe between the gimp and the master, they thought that this moment was going to come a lot sooner before 25. Like, holy shit. He's like, God.
I don't think crawling or wiggling is going to do it. I might have to writhe. Get out there and ride this time.
It's like, I'm into it, but fucking 24 days in a row. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And that always has to occur at fucking 10 p.m.
That's just the wildest edge ever. It's like when the cops finally came and put the cuffs on, he finally came. Like, it's like, that's so, good for, I say, I'm not yucking yums.
No. I say writhe and wriggle, and like you can do it he can do it in the comfort of his own home. They're not policing, what you do behind closed doors,
no,
of course, but just
not.
Not in a public space, not
which
making
is actually which makes
is
sense.
honestly
for
fair.
the 5-year ban.
That's
I'll
honestly
actually give it to them because they're gonna be like, hey man, we party. Like, dude, we get down. I got a fucking Gimp suit in the car. I got one in the office, and I have one at home, just depending when I'm gonna Gimp out. But like, you are taking this a little bit too far. We still do live in a society, so Gimp judge.
Where there needs to be Gimping hours,
totally.
and like. Exactly. He flew too close to the sun.
Like imagine you're in a small town in a Gimp community or in like a BDSM community where they're like the lawyers are involved, the judge, like everybody in the courtroom was at the orgy, but they still have to be like, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't take it this far.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this is a classic.
The one true freak.
Classic. When he flew too close to the sun, which god was that again?
Icarus.
Icarus is a classic Icarus scenario.
Classic
he
Icarus.
gimped too close he gimped too close to the dark, as we should say, to the moonlight.
For sure.
Gimping in the moonlight.
Gimping in the moonlight.
Maybe that's what he was doing, because that could be constituted as wriggling and writhing. He's gimping in the moonlight. Maybe this guy just loves to dance.
Have you seen? I've definitely showed you the video for like how do we dance when the beds are burning or whatever. How do we dance while our beds are burning? You know that song?
No.
How do we swim while the earth is turning? You know that song?
No.
How do we? Oh fuck! It's so great. We're gonna watch it. We'll leave a link to it down below. But there's a point. It's like an shitty 80s music video where they're kind of like in. It's not even like in front of a green screen. They're almost like in front of like a projector screen or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's a point where the lead singer is just silhouetted out, and he just does this writhing wriggle dance.
Yeah.
That you could only do in a Gimp suit, but he manages to do that, completely without restraints of rubber or latex. So.
Yeah, so he can do this. He can writhe and wriggle without being fucking gothed out, head to toe.
Yeah, but it's not
the same thing. Yeah,
it's not the same thing. I mean, once you get to that level, then you gotta put the suit on, or else the wiggle is just it's missing its it's missing its heart. It really is.
But yeah, shout out. I love that they included his full name in this too. That's shout out to Joshua Hunt, 32. He's lived a life. That's a 32-year-old man.
Yeah, I fucking feel like I got a lot of miles on me with this dude. I mean, that's what gets you into Gimp suits, bro. I still got a couple years, I think, before I'm gonna don the cloak and cowl, fucking shit, the cape and cowl.
Yeah, so shout out to
the Batman.
Yeah, shout out to the Somerset Gimp.
Yeah.
I do wish him the best, we'll check back in 5 years for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking, because we had fun with these games that we played last week. So I have another game that I saw on a podcast clip, and I thought it would be fun to try. So how this works basically is that on like a count of 3, we both say a word, any word.
Okay.
And then we go, another count of 3, and then we both say what we think those 2 words have in common.
Okay.
And then whatever 2 words we say then we say whatever those 2 words have in common.
Sure.
And we keep going until hopefully at one point we say the same word and we celebrate.
Okay. let's give it a go.
Okay. So we're just going to say
any random word.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Couch.
Okay.
Cat and couch.
Cat and couch. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Butt. Sleep. Okay. Sleep and butt.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Consent.
Cuddle. Cuddle and consent. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Sexy time.
Sexy time. Yeah. Hell yeah. I agree. I get weirdly uncomfortable in these games.
Okay, we'll try again. Okay. Any word.
Any word.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Tree.
Sweatshirt.
Okay, tree and sweatshirt. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ten
Tall.
tree.
10 tree. Okay. Oh, that's
They
a good
make
one.
sweatshirts and do stuff with trees.
10 tree and tall. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Dudes.
Chainsaw.
Dudes and chainsaw.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Gasoline
Lumberjack.
cock.
Gasoline cock and lumberjack.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Beards.
I couldn't think of one.
I went, yeah, it's hard, right? When you do a gasoline cock.
Okay, we'll try one more time. I thought we were going to be better at this.
Yeah, we suck at this. Gasoline cock was blue. I stink at this.
Okay, any word. 3, 2, 1.
Shoelace.
Witches. Shoelace and witches.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Cauldron.
Snakes and cauldron.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Fangs.
Evil and fangs.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Dracula. Skin and Dracula. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Pale.
Lips.
Pale lips.
Pale lips.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Deceased.
Hey.
Creepy. We're spooky people.
Okay. Shall we get into the album?
We shall. We shall get into this album by a fantastic band. The sound bleeds from the Midwest. If you know what that means, then you know that I love me some org core.
Yeah.
I think that this would probably fall fantastically in that category, but just a good rollicking punk band in the Brokedowns. The Brokedowns are a band from Illinois. I don't think Chicago proper, but definitely coming out of that neck of the woods. Put out an album this year called Maximum Khaki on Red Scare Industries. Red Scare Industries, The Falcon, a lot of fantastic Chicago Midwest area bands. I think that the Brokedowns are so goddamn criminally underrated. That being 7 releases, Maximum Khaki being released this year. The one that I'm talking about is 2018's Sick of Space. I chose this one to piss off Kevin Von Helvet a little bit because he's been talking so much about Maximum Khaki that I'm like, fuck you, Sick of Space is rules. But I like it because it's maybe not as fun as the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think there's some more somber tones to the lyrics and maybe. I think I'm not going to say that it's a bummer of an album. I'm going to say that their other albums are a little bit more fun. But this one sticks with me, and I keep going back and listening to it because it just has that fantastic combination of overweight dudes screaming over, some. I'm not going to say it's not very, crisply, produced. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles on it. And that's exactly why I like it. I think that for 7 albums in a very good collection of work already, I'm hoping that the world catches on and everybody can sing the praises of this fantastic band.
Nice.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
I didn't listen to it.
You
No, I'm
didn't?
kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
fuck,
I'm kidding.
man.
I'm kidding.
Jesus.
I'm kidding. No, I enjoyed it. I listened to it when I was.
Nice.
I listened to it when I was walking to get coffee this morning, and yeah, it's org to the core.
Yep.
And where are they from?
Illinois. I would say.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I think Chicago claims them.
Okay.
I would say, but yeah, somewhere.
Yeah,
Somewhere
I
in
liked
that
it.
general area.
It was a quick album, 25 minutes.
That's the way we like it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It wasn't. I feel like I would have to give it another listening. There wasn't anything that I was. It didn't immediately hit me as I want to listen to this again, to be completely honest.
Yep.
But I didn't dislike it.
Yep.
So I think maybe if I
Do you
listened
think
to
it
it
probably?
again.
I think I listened to a lot of stuff that might I'm not going to call you the untrained ear, but the less enthusiastic ear maybe. That's probably. It sounds like it could be. Like you could fit in with a few other bands, you know what I mean?
So
on a
yeah,
playlist
so I
that
think
have.
maybe there wasn't anything that jumped out to me as it being distinct in that I would hear something and be like, oh, this is.
I'm gonna recommend taking a lap through with the lyric sheet because you know what I mean. When you're on a walk, right? Some guys are kind of screaming in your ears or whatever, right? You might be focusing on other things.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. Like I wasn't like, because yeah, like I enjoyed it on the walk. It wasn't like, because sometimes, you know, when you like go out for a walk, you want to listen to your music.
Yeah, that's not the Bare Naked Ladies Christmas jam.
Exactly. It wasn't Green Christmas, okay?
Totally. Yep.
This isn't gonna win any awards.
No, totally. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
this isn't like, you know,
we're
a
not
monumental
talking target audience
like
here.
Canadian superstars, you know, redefining the genre of Canadiana. But it was fine.
Fucking bitch.
No, I did enjoy it. All that to say, like I enjoyed it on my walk. I wasn't like mad that I like had to listen to this on my walk or anything like that. And I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, for like, I think for
but
if
that
you're
being
into
said,
this kind of thing, then I assure you that that these guys do it. I think at the highest level, and like if you like some kind of like smart alecky tongue-in-cheek this place sucks kind of music, like on the lines of like I'd say like Dillinger Fours or like you know, like they did a split with the Arrivals. There's some fantastic they're in great company, and if you are into this little subgenre pocket of music that I am, then I would definitely say check out the Brokedowns.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for watching, and we will see you next week.
Goddamn right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.